Business over drinks. Business over drinks. This is Dave and Tongue. This is business over drinks.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Business Over Drinks. My name is Tung and I'm calling in from Singapore.
My name is David, calling in from Brisbane, Australia. Hey going everyone, we got a very special guest. Before I introduce her, just thought I'd tell you guys to like and subscribe wherever you're watching us or listening to us from, whether it's YouTube, whether it's on a podcast. Please like us. Please like us. We need it. We need it for the emotional validation, and also it'll help us keep getting great guests in like Claire. So search us on social media, Business Over Drinks. We just recently launched an Instagram, or follow us on YouTube and subscribe to our videos or on our podcast. So anyway, we've got a very special guest tonight. Her name is Clare Sheng. So she just released a book called The Suit Book, which is everything you need to know about wearing a suit. So she's probably judging what we're wearing right now.
Yeah, I didn't know that, damn it.
So she's a very inspirational business person too. So as well as having the book, so she is a director of the fitting room on Edward. So she's also the co-founder of Modern Gentry, which is a brand new concept where their mission is to introduce like-minded gentlemen to meet. She's also the 2017 Lord Mayor's Multicultural Young Business Person of the Year. She's the winner of the 2017 Australian Small Business Champion Award, and she's also the 2017 Lord Mayor's Business Award Special Mention in Business Innovation. So she's done quite a bit of stuff. If you're in Brisbane, go check out the fitting room. She's awesome. But anyway, enough about that. Let's start the conversation.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the show, Claire. And again, I'm just going to say this one more time. It's really, really, really disheartening to have such like really good guests with a lot more accomplishments than me. But that's okay. I'm going to swallow my pride for a bit. So welcome to the show, Claire. I think we shared a little bit about what we want to talk about and everything. So maybe I'd just like to start with your journey, right? So you were a pharmacist before you became director of the fitting room, and then you wrote a book and all of that. So maybe just tell us a little bit, like, why did you transition from what's a very noble profession, being a pharmacist, right? But like, why do you transition out of that?
Pharmacy is noble. Well, I guess
the nicest thing I could think about. That's the nicest thing I could think to say. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, man, you got to get your vitamin C, right?
Healthcare,
Yeah.
I guess. Well, I'm a first-generation immigrant. So I came here when I was in high school. I did high school here. Didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. And family, friends, they all said, go and be a pharmacist. It's a really good job for an Asian girl to have. It's stable, it's safe, you can go have a kid, you always have a job to come back to. So I just chose pharmacy. And studying it was fine, it's very challenging and interesting. But working as a pharmacist, is not noble at all. It's extremely boring.
Someone's got to do it, right? That's a noble job in itself. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
You have to be a special kind of person like nurses and teachers to have that patience and that nurturing kind of that kind of warm fuzzy feeling to be patient enough to be a pharmacist, because really it's just a glorified shop assistant, sometimes security officer, just monitoring all the druggers out there.
Can we use that as a quote, like as a thumbnail on our social media?
Like, if there are any pharmacists listening, we do not agree with that statement. So cool.
I'm sure they will agree. The amount of people that had to cash it and stuffing things down their pants. Oh, ridiculous.
Really? What are they? Like the vitamin C down their pants or something? Or like?
Oh yeah, just like tell us like what, like maybe just share an anecdote. Like what you said, stuffing stuff down their pants.
Tung's very used to that kind of stuff, by the way.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Socks.
Well, when I
mostly
first
socks.
graduated as a pharmacy, I worked in a brand new pharmacy in a new shopping center. So it was very quiet and extremely, we didn't have enough clients. But I was so excited. I'm like, I'm a pharmacist now. I get to prove myself. And finally, I'm at the top of the food chain. But really, all I did was just waiting for customers to come. And it was a Priceline pharmacy. So it's like Boots in the UK, a lot of makeup, cosmetics, vitamins, that kind of stuff. And the theft rate was very high. So we're always told to be on the alert. And one evening at the end of a 12-hour shift, I was really bored, just scrolling on the internet. And I can see out of my corner of my eyes, this really scruffy looking dude just put something down his pants. And I started following him around, and he's like shifty and looking at me. Yeah. I'm like, excuse me, sir, I think you put something down your pants. Can you please take it out? No, I didn't. Like, you did. I saw you. And got a few other girls all standing around him. And you can tell he's like wearing a singlet and flip-flops and very disheveled. And he's like, no, I didn't. And I saw you put something down your pants. So he's like, oh, fine, whatever. And he slowly reaches down his pants and grabs out a warm bottle of lube, puts it in my hand and says, I don't need it anyway.
Oh, so firstly, sorry, that was me.
Yeah. Just kidding. Scruffy and singlet, that's just Dave. That's just Dave.
Sorry about that. Sorry, I should have. I regret doing that.
They get stolen a lot. And pregnancy tests.
Oh, okay. I can understand pregnancy tests, though. That could just be a sense of like just embarrassment, right? Nobody kind of wants to buy that.
Are they expensive?
Yeah. No, they're not. I don't think so.
Like $11, $12.
Yeah, I think it's just mostly embarrassment. Like, because usually I just had to grab a couple and just run out of the store. I'm just like, oh, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I've never done that before.
You've done it twice.
We gotta cut that out. We gotta cut that out.
Yeah, so it was just not a very rewarding job, because even if you do give out the right medicine, people don't really come back and say, hey, thank you for giving me the right medicine. You never hear that. All you meet is miserable people. They're sick, or they're complaining about price, or they're just unhappy.
Yeah.
So I didn't enjoy it at all. And after working a couple of years, I decided I just cannot be in the store for one more day. And I just told my boss I wanted to quit.
Yep.
And then pretty much at that time, I fell pregnant with my first child. So I stayed home for a year, and I was bored out of my mind again. Yep. So I decided to start helping my mom out as in the family business. Yep. So back then it was called PQ Fashions, and it was clothing alterations, and her target client were like rich old ladies. And she was really good at catering to these rich old ladies and their vanity. And the business was doing pretty well in Brisbane. But like initially when I was in school, I didn't want to be in the family business, because every school holidays I had to work in the business, washing coffee cups, doing deliveries, handing out pamphlets on the street, and didn't want to touch. Sorry?
For free?
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm Asian family, man.
Holidays, I work in a shop.
You get paid with like just food and like a bed.
The gift of life. And then I decided, I'm at home, might as well help mom out with some paperwork and stuff like that. And then eventually I started going to the shop to help out, and I realized it's a lot more rewarding than pharmacy, because people, when they leave, they feel really good about themselves, and they put on their clothes that fit properly, and they're like, oh, that looks really good. I look really good. Thank you. So it was actually a lot more rewarding. And each piece that comes in that doesn't fit properly at first, it's kind of like a puzzle. You're trying to work out, how can I make this look better on this person? Which seam should I take in? What kind of shape can I make it? So that part was very interesting. Yeah, so I started doing a bit more in the business, and start taking some business marketing courses as well. And now we have more than double the revenue, and we're the largest alterations shop in Queensland.
Awesome stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is 10 years on now. And mum's retired. She's so happy she's retired. She never thought she'd be able to leave the shop, but now she's been retired for 3 years and really enjoying her life.
I have a few questions on that, but before we start, what do you drink? What's everyone drinking?
I'm having a Cab Sav, just out of a random pack that you buy online. Mofo, I just call them, just give me some red wine. So they sent me some red wine. Oh. Cab Sav from McLaren Vale.
How is it?
Not bad. It's okay.
I'm drinking a Noblesse Chardonnay, because that's the first thing you could pull out of the fridge. and yeah, it's not bad. I drink quite a lot of this actually.
You drink it for breakfast.
Dave's gonna surprise us. Dave's gonna surprise us.
No,
what are you drinking, Dave?
I'm drinking. I've drank this in a lot of episodes before. It's a Black Label on the rocks.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
fancy. Just straight.
This straight because I can.
Yeah.
That's
it's
whiskey,
Wednesday night.
right? I don't know a lot about liquors.
Yeah. So Dave has this propensity for drinking really strong alcohol, just like neat. And it's not because he likes it, it's just because he can't be bothered getting a mixer. So that's the honest
Just
truth.
warm.
Yeah, and I've seen him get really drunk during podcasts. So sometimes I'm just ending the entire podcast by myself while Dave's just nodding really quietly in the background.
Or the key is just to stay still, completely still.
Yeah.
Just go, yep.
Frozen. Like, you can frozen.
Yeah. But anyway, back to, I mean, there's so much to unpack during that journey of joining your mom and becoming the director. Like, can you tell us a little bit more how and then changing from women's clothing to men's suiting? How did that transition happen?
Well, I think, there's a lot there in that question. So firstly, I think I'm extremely lucky that my mom is not a traditional first generation business owner. Because you hear a lot of stories about, children trying to go into the family business, but the first generation, they don't want to change anything because it's worked for them before. So they block everything. But I'm very lucky in that I'm very different to my mom. She's creative and I'm practical. She is good at the creative side, the fitting, the customer service, and I'm good at the numbers. So we complement each other. And whatever I want to try, she always said, go for it. She never said, no, I've done that before, it won't work, or that's a terrible idea. Not one time has she blocked any of my ideas. Even though she knows it'll probably fail, she wants me to go fail so that I can learn. So I really, really appreciate that. Not like we never fought. There has been times we didn't agree on things, but overall it has been a really great journey.
Yeah.
And then over the first few years, I learned the craft. The next few years, I learned more business marketing, business development. And when she felt like she's not needed there anymore, she's like, yep, I think you're ready. And she just stepped out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
wow.
That's really cool. I mean, that's completely different from every single Asian person's experience. I think we're going to have to do, at the end of this, we're going to do an explanation of why, just to everybody else, like, why this won't happen to you. But, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, disclaimer.
I'm setting the bar a little bit high here for a parent company owner.
No, that's really cool. So, I've been actually looking through your business and like trying to get a better sense of what it is, because I want to see what's different, right? Because alteration services, at least from where I come from, are very traditional. It's like it's very old school. It's person in a back room, and there's like a really shitty small front where they do measurements and then somebody sews at the back, right? But from what I've seen, and obviously I haven't been to your store yet, which when I do come down to Brisbane, I'll definitely go visit and then hopefully get a massive discount on all the alterations. But
Claire's not agreeing or disagreeing.
So it's just really quiet. I just lost silence on that part. But what was really interesting was for me was the fact that you seem to be trying to infuse a lot of character, a lot of newer, I would say, trying to really create that experience for people when they're there, right? That's a feeling that I got. And maybe you could talk us through a little bit about that. Like, so like, what's it like if I was to come into your store and like I said, hey, I've got a suit, it makes me look fat. How do I look better?
I think you're exactly right with how traditionally tailors are perceived. When I first started the business, that's what we were. We had a few tailors out the back. My mum spoke a little bit of broken English, and whatever people said, she's like, yes. They want cheaper? Okay. They want faster? Yep. And she'll go to other retailers and kind of not beg, but say, I'll help your customers. Please send customers to me. I'll do it faster, cheaper. I'll, help you with your own clothes. That's what everyone
Asian
does.
So, yep.
Very Asian. But even all the other alteration stores in Brisbane, even now that are not Asian, they do the same thing because that's the industry. So when I came in, I didn't like it at all because I saw a lot of people treating my mom really badly. She worked with a lot of high-end fashion retailers. And these people that work there, just because they work with rich people, they think they're better than us and they treat her like crap. Like during high school, when I was working for her, I used to deliver clothing to these retail stores after we've altered it. And people would just close the door on me, even though I'm delivering armful of clothes to them. You know, they're like, oh, hi. Open the door for a customer and then close the door on me. And
Wow, okay.
I saw that over and over, and I was just really was sick of it. But we had some really good clients who saw our value, and I decided we're going to just treat ourselves differently, and people will treat us differently. So now we are a value-based kind of service. People come to us because of our expertise, because of our service, and because of our quality.
Yep.
They're not looking for a tailor to shorten their pants. They come in they trust us. Like our good customers will just say, I've got this suit, you know what to do, just pin it up, here's some money, thank you very much. Or there'll be, actually we get a lot of young professionals who are wearing suits for the first time. They may come in every 2 weeks. I had one guy last week, he had a list of questions for me. I actually have a list of questions for you, Claire. What do I do in this situation? How do I look at a suit in this situation? What do I do here? And next week, he'll have another list of questions for me. So they treat us as the experts in the field, and that's how we position ourselves in the market.
Yep.
And we value ourselves, so clients will value us.
Nice. Okay. I've got two small anecdotes about that. So like when you explain how your mom would have to deal with people having special requests and stuff like that. My parents are a little bit like that as well. So they both speak perfect English, but every time they kind of were dealing with people or dealing with something they didn't want to deal with, they would be like, oh, okay. But like they understood completely what people were saying. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to deal with it. So then my parents would do that all the time. The other one was so it's really interesting because I actually had a tailor here in Singapore, again, small shop, random guy, random tailors in the background sewing and stuff like that. But it was really interesting because he was the only tailor I've ever met that would actually, no matter who came in, he would actually do the entire process. So he would like pin all the shirts or the suits or whatever it was when alterations and everything. So he made everyone, even if it was like a $10 job or a $5 job, he'd make that person feel as, okay, this is really cool. Through recommendations, I've personally recommended him to at least 15 people. My friends are recommending him to like another 30 people. So that guy's business was doing great. Like I know he was doing great. I haven't gone back to him for 2 years, but people still ask me, hey, who was that guy you were telling me about? I lost his number. Can you give me his number? So they go back to him like even now. So I know I can completely understand where you're going with this, because to me, he wasn't the cheapest, but he was I was willing to pay a little extra, travel a little bit further, because I got what I wanted, and that person spent that extra 2 minutes with me, and that was enough.
Yeah. And a lot of our clients, they may come to us after they've been somewhere else, and they do compare our just the whole process. They say it's easier, and we just tell them straight. I don't like to fluff around. I'll say that's not going to work, we can't do that, or if you want to look good, this is what you need to do. We never talk or don't let people bargain price. If you want to do this job, this is how much it's going to cost. We're not more expensive than others, but we don't discount ourselves.
So how did you sorry, go ahead.
I think that differentiates from the market in that we do treat every client very special. $300 suit, $3,000 suit is the same kind of service.
Yeah, great. I can definitely vouch for that. I've known Claire for some time, so and then her reputation is amazing. Like if you go to a LinkedIn, look for Clare Sheng. We'll probably link it in the show notes. You can see what kind of love she gets from her customers. So definitely, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, I get death threats. She gets like recommendations. It's really weird. I think it's the way we deal with things. Cause I haven't learned anything from the tailor that I was telling you about from you and stuff. I haven't learned anything. This is really bad at it. I'm just like, you're a fool.
No, but I think it's also, I found my niche. I like dealing with professional people who don't like bullshit. They just want good service. They want good value. When I first started with my mom, this is back when we were doing more ladies wear, these women, they were unreasonable. They will bring a photo of a supermodel and they're middle-aged, short, stout woman. And they're like, why don't I look like that? And
I can relate to that with my barber.
Claire, please tell us more. Sorry, Dave. Claire, please tell us more. I need to hear this. This hits me right
take
there.
the dressing. I'm like, I can't take the dressing. This is your meat,
Did he say that? This is your meat. It's too much meat. You need to go vegetarian. Did he say something like that?
Oh.
But when I was working there, I pissed off a lot of customers because they're just not really my people. I think it's also important when you're in business, you got to work with people that you like.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
I didn't click with them, so it wasn't successful. My mom was a lot better with them. But these women, they all spend 2 hours of my time and then they'll haggle over $5. So it was just like a huge waste of time.
This is gonna sound awkward, but were they mostly Asian?
No, they're not.
Oh, that breaks a stereotype. I'm
no.
Asian. I can say that.
Asians not going to pay Australian alterations prices.
Oh, that's actually very true. That's very true. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's actually very fair enough.
Chinese, I can hear you. Like, I'm going to take this back to China to alter.
Tony can definitely relate to that.
But
for sure.
So we end up, my mum eventually bought a second store. And when I came in, I was helping her a lot in the second store. And I saw somehow naturally a lot of the menswear stores were coming to that store and using their services. So I thought, why not kind of just niche in menswear? So, and then eventually I changed the name to the Fitting Room because before it was called Brisbane City Clothing Alterations, which, as you know, David, is great for SEO, but quite a mouthful.
Yeah.
Nobody could say Brisbane City Clothing Alterations.
Yeah.
So I changed to the Fitting Room about 4 years ago, and no one remembers the old name, which is great because before that we were in business for 20 years. And I just start putting up pictures of menswear, talking about suits. We never say we don't do women's
just
wear.
on the website, or where did he put the pictures?
Just everywhere. Yeah, website, marketing, conversation. I say we're really good at suits. We're suit specialists.
Yep.
And that somehow that made us into the suit niche. When people Google where I'm going to take my suit, they're not going to go to a local tailor who say they do everything. They're going to go to the suit people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, and then I realized I actually like working with suits. It's an easy alteration. You see the results straight away, and dudes are really happy that I help them look good.
Yeah.
Just like a little alteration changes the whole suit, and everyone leaves so happy. And we don't have many of those, still sometimes, but we don't have many of those clients who are unrealistic anymore.
Can you make my biceps look bigger?
I can do some padding, maybe put a shoulder padding here.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, no, because side note, Dave can't do a pull-up. So, just want to mention that.
I had some feelings, man, but it's true.
Sorry, Dave. So just a quick reminder, is it my turn or your turn to ask a question?
It's whoever's turn. You can ask a question.
Claire, because I know that your business, right, is still quite traditional in the sense, in terms of at least the fitting room, right? In terms of like retail, brick and mortar type thing. During the pandemic, right, COVID-19, I mean, like what really happened? Like how did that affect your business?
Yeah, that affected us pretty badly. Half of our business, we rely on retail shops. So we work with retailers, and we would teach them, the staff there, how to do fittings. We'll go to the shop to pick up all the alterations they need, bring it back, do it, and deliver it back. That was half of our business. So when COVID hit, all the retailers shut.
Yep.
Clients, and then the other half of our client database is professionals who work in the CBD. People that work in the big four, in real estate, in finance, lawyers, they were all working from home. And but also because my team of 15, they don't want to catch a bus, they don't want to come to the city. So we also shut. We shut for 6 weeks.
Shit.
And it was a very scary and uncertain time. I didn't know when we were going to open. The Australian government hadn't rolled out JobKeeper yet. And it was interesting. I learned a lot. And then we reopened in early May when the restrictions eased. And that, it was a slow process. All the retailers opened, but people weren't buying. And if they did buy, the staff, they're too scared to do the fittings. So we opened bit by bit, started with one tailor at a time. But I think now consumer confidence is slowly coming back, especially with weddings coming back as well. Everyone's rushing to get married now, just in case everything shuts down again. So a lot of weddings, people are buying suits again. We are back up to about 50% of our normal revenue, which is...
That's really good. That's really good.
Good, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
And it's increasing every month, increasing by about 20% each month on month from zero. So yeah, I'm pretty confident we'll do okay. We won't have to shut shop or anything, but we'll be effective for a while yet.
Okay.
I heard that in the CBD, people are still not back in the city. Maybe 30% of the corporate white collars are back. Mm-hmm. And some may not come back at all this year. So that's still going to affect us.
All over the world, people are in a very, very, very dire situation. So in your particular case, obviously affected by COVID-19, what kind of exercises do you do? What do you do to kind of stay positive and still keep smiling and working towards your goals? Yeah. What do you have any advice out there, or what did you do?
Option.
Yep.
Right now, I'm the sole breadwinner for the family. I've got husband and 2 kids. I've got my mum who's retired, who rely on dividends. My dad and his wife, they help out in the business as well. So it's a big family that I'm working for. So there's no choice. And then I still have got 10 tailors and 3 service staff. Yep. So I just keep on marketing, call all my clients, do offers, promotion, make sure we have enough money to get everyone paid.
Nice. I mean, that's good. I mean, it's really cool how basically you've taken control of everything. I mean, I think in times to come, people may not understand the fact that you're able to get to 50% of revenue within a few months of the pandemic is impressive. Very impressive. Especially for a retail store. I mean, that's impressive as hell, because like people, most retail isn't kind of back to that level yet.
Yeah. We're lucky we have a big client database, and
we've
got a very good reputation.
Oh, nice. I mean, I kind of want to touch on the marketing bit for in a minute, but can we take a little bit of step back and maybe like lighten the mood, because I think we got a little bit somber there after the fact that David brings down the mood a lot sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's just my skill. That's just my inherent talent.
I mean, so like when we were doing research and stuff, right? So I saw that you were actually on Dancing CEOs. I've never heard of it, so I had to do a lot of research on what the heck that was. But I mean, tell us your experience there. Like, how did you, like, first of all, why? Secondly, was there any benefit? Third, like, what was the experience like?
Yeah, it was the best experience of my life. I think, David, you should do it next year.
Well, it depends what dance it is. Is it the boogie?
Do whatever dance you want.
Chicken dance. Not push.
So Dancing CEO is an annual charity event for a charity called Women's Legal Service. So they are a free legal advice firm for women and children who are escaping from domestic violence.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
They have a hotline, not 24 hours. They want to be 24 hours, but not enough funding. They have a hotline for women who just want to call and find out what their options are about leaving their violent partners. They have lawyers on call who will represent them in court. And they also have a few other things. But to raise money, they have some government grants, some stakeholders, but the big thing each year is the dancing CEOs event. That means they try and get 12 CEOs, people like me who own businesses, some small business, some large businesses, to raise fund for them throughout the year. And then at the end of the year, we put on a big gala at City Hall, and each CEO will do a little dance routine in front of 1,000 people. And on the night, we also continue to raise money. So the year I danced, we raised a record-breaking $400,000.
Oh wow!
So what dance was it?
Impressive.
Chicken dance?
So you actually get 4 professional backup dancers, and we do rehearsals and everything.
Shit.
A little dance routine. You haven't seen it, David?
No. I
Oh yeah,
haven't.
no, this is legit. That's what I'm asking about. It was legit.
look it
I
up
was
on
looking for
YouTube.
everything.
I'm gonna definitely YouTube that. We'll link to it, by the way, and we'll link to the charity as well for anyone who's interested.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I did. It's like a 1920s routine. So a song from The Great Gatsby, and I had the feather in my hair, little tassel skirt, and did a.
Oh yeah, you had the full costume on, right? Yeah, I was a part of research. I had to look at everything. I was like, okay, cool. This
Yeah.
was like a
Where
very
do I buy that for myself?
Yeah. just
other
the head,
CEOs,
part.
Other CEOs, some may do R&B, some may do the cha-cha, some may do jazz, just whatever they feel comfortable with. It's all different levels of dancing skills. Some people, one guy, he was like breakdancing, he was amazing. He owns a gym, had a 6-pack. And then another guy is a middle-aged accountant. So he would like dressed up as the Greatest Showman, as Hugh Jackman, and he did a little bit of dancing. It was more of a performance. It was just so much fun that everyone was very committed to it.
Okay, I think Dave is gonna do it next year for sure. So he has to.
No, I'm
He
not.
has to.
I'll give
He
money,
has to.
but I'm not gonna dance.
He has
Um,
to. We had to switch over to a new Zoom recording because we're too cheap to get premium Zoom. Anywho,
So- Back to dancing. If I had to dance, I'd probably just do the worm for 30 minutes straight. That's it.
It's
That's all
only
I
a
do.
3-minute routine, and the professionals will make you look good. They'll dance around you. You can just stand there.
Oh god.
oh no, that's Dave's normal dancing routine. Funny story, Claire. So I've been to a club with Dave, right? And then I think this is when we were like 24, 25 something, and we were in a club, and then there were girls. We asked these girls to dance.
Jade is gonna kill me. All right, where are you going with this story?
No. This is 10 years ago. This is 10 years ago. Don't worry. You hadn't met your girlfriend yet. So we were dancing, right? And then I think I was dancing with this girl. Everything was going really good. And then I happened to glance over at David. And I don't know what he was doing, but he was doing this weird thing where his eyes were closed and he was really focusing on trying to keep to the beat of the music. And then
that was dancing.
I started to laugh really hard. And then the girl I was dancing with just got really sick because I wasn't looking at her. I was just looking at Dave and laughing. I think at some point I stopped and I actually did the old school, like slapping your thigh while you're laughing really hard while staring at him on the dance floor. So yeah, David literally ruined the night for both of us.
And that was just one of many.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well.
I mean, maybe how we can end off, Claire, is you can tell us a little bit more about your book, because I think we touched on it a little bit at the start, but if people really want to know more about, the things that you had to share, learn a little bit more about from your expertise, can let us know, like, what's your book about, why should people buy it, and where they can find it.
Okay. Well, I wrote the suit book, so I may have to mirror image this, because I kept getting asked the same questions from my clients every day. Brisbane is a pretty young country, and suiting wise, there's not a lot of rules, there's no tradition, and most people, once they go into the workforce, they have to learn from scratch. And there really isn't anywhere to learn it from. It doesn't really get passed down by the generations. So people kept asking me, what do I wear in this situation? What does the dress codes mean? What is a black tie? How tight should pants be? What is the correct thing? How do I look after clothes? And I was writing a lot of blogs on my website, and I get very high click rate, especially why the crotch of your pants wears out. That gets 3,000 clicks.
Mine never wears out.
They are pants are too loose.
No,
It's inappropriate.
it's not. It's not. There's just no friction. Sorry, Karen.
Sorry, King. Yeah.
We won't go into that. Yeah, so I was writing a lot of blogs, and then eventually I just thought I would turn it into a book. And now I've got Suit Book. It's about everything you need to know about wearing a suit, like how to buy a suit, where to wear them, how to look after it, how it should be fitted. And now I kind of use it as a business card. I give it to people kind of and just think, oh, wow, you wrote the book. You must know about suits. And a lot of people were kind of like, okay, it's a suit book. But everyone who has read it, they were very surprised at the amount of information in there that they didn't know. So I'm not saying it's a great book, like grammar-wise.
You're selling it really well.
Yeah, Claire, just a little bit of professional advice. Just a little bit of professional advice. Maybe don't say that. Just don't say that. Just FYI, just don't say that.
If you want to know how to dress professionally and make a good impression in the corporate world, then this is a good book to get you started.
I definitely need that. I've disappointed many people with my lack of passion for fashion. Like even all my life, I've been buttoning both buttons in the suit jacket, which is terrible, right? Why is there a second button if you don't need it?
It's a very stupid rule, but there is a rule. The rule is you don't button the second one because a couple of 100 years ago, a very fashionable aristocrat decided it's fashionable. So it's been done like that ever since.
Yeah, that's why I wear my underpants on the outside, because Superman made that fashionable, and everyone can go to hell.
Yeah, wow.
You can get the suit book on the Fitting Room on Edward website. You can get it on Amazon, Kindle, Apple Books, everywhere.
We'll definitely link to that on the show notes.
Yeah, we'll share it everywhere, Claire. Don't worry, we'll make sure that everyone knows where to get it. Dave, do you want to take us out, or do you have any questions for Claire?
One last question is, what is one? Because I've got a few weddings lined up. What is one suiting thingamajiggy that most men get wrong? Oh man, I feel so unprofessional tonight.
Yeah. Suit thingamajiggy. Okay, cool. Claire, tell us more about this suit thingamajiggy that James asking about.
What is one thing, like, because I know, like, for example, me wearing both buttons all my life until recently, that was one big screw up on my part. Like, what is something men get wrong a lot when it comes to wearing suits?
I mean, the thing I see most is fit. But I think the biggest problem in Brisbane is the dress code. You know, when you go to a black tie event, people are usually wearing their business suits. Or you see people wearing a tuxedo suit in a day-to-day event with the wrong pants. I think it's just understanding the fashion rules. I know it sounds a bit douchey, but you don't want to be wearing the wrong thing and have an older person go, why is that person wearing the wrong clothes to this occasion? Why are they wearing a tuxedo jacket with jeans? Just the mismatching and misunderstanding of what each different suit mean and what occasion they should be worn to, it can be a big faux pas. And it just instantly makes that person seem unprofessional, or they don't really know what they're doing. They don't even know what clothes they're wearing to this event.
Yeah,
okay.
And I guess all those questions will be answered in your book.
Yes, like just on the weekend, a young guy knocked on my door. Works for a real estate agent. He said, we're having an open house next door. Come have a look. He was wearing a tuxedo jacket with jeans. And it just like, oh, yeah. This looks like rain.
Damn it.
Okay, so let's name the person. Let's name his let's name the real estate. Let's name the real estate company. Let's name the
I feel like giving him a compliment.
Let's name the building, and then let's just shame him. No, let's not do that. We don't actually do that. We're very scared. We don't want to shame anybody. We'll get in trouble.
But that is very useful because I think I've done that before. I'm just horrible. I need to get a copy of this book.
Oh yeah, no. Dave dresses like a homeless person, but like a homeless person with no style. That's the worst part. Like homeless people can match style
as long as it's clean and well fitted.
Oh yeah, so again, Dave dresses really badly. So yeah, no. So I'm no better. I'm actually no better. But at least I have a suit that fits now. I've always had trouble with fit though, because
Yeah.
so for some reason in at least in Singapore, they tend to have a fit that's a little bit loose on the back, so it kind of just flares out for some weird reason, and they never do it properly. So I never got
I think it's
that.
just your body shape.
It's really
just-
muscular, man. It's really muscular. Do a pull up
There's
and
some
talk to
good
me. Do a pull up and
tailors in
talk to me.
Singapore.
No, they're really good tailor. It's just really expensive though. Like tailoring in Singapore is really expensive.
Yeah.
And so before the pandemic, everybody would actually fly over to Thailand or Vietnam
Really?
and get it tailored, because you would get it tailored there, like there, because it's the same. Oddly enough, a lot of the places that do custom tailoring in Singapore send their orders to Thailand and Vietnam and then get it shipped to Singapore,
Oh.
because it's about 1/5 the price.
Yes.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
surprising. There were
it's quite
tailors
interesting.
everywhere when I went to Singapore. It's like a whole line of the whole street of them.
Oh yeah, because those are the ones that do most of the alterations and stuff. Because you're not going to send something abroad to do alterations, so that they'll. But actually, tailoring, it's a smaller community, so they do like those ones that do mostly wedding stuff, but like no one custom suits, not so much. I haven't seen a lot of custom suits in Singapore. So yeah, so I mean, I got a custom suit done for my birthday last year, if I'm not mistaken, before the pandemic, and it was really, really expensive. So yeah, that was cool. I didn't pay for it, so it's all right. But still, it was really expensive. But yeah, I got a custom suit done. I had so many questions. I'm like, so that's why it kind of resonated with me, because Claire, because when I was reading about your stuff, I had like at least 30 questions in the first meeting. Then the second fitting, I had another 30 questions. And you could tell that the person who was taking my measurements, like she was rolling her eyes. She's like, "Oh, shut up, shut up." Like, no, I'm paying for this. Like, someone's paying for this. You're gonna answer my questions. So I did. I had a lot of questions.
I'll send you a copy of the book.
Yes.
There you
And
go.
free alteration when I come to Brisbane. Okay, cool. Thanks, Claire. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
I think the internet cut out.
Okay, thank you.
And then when he comes to Brisbane, remember that promise he made? Remember that promise?
Because I won't forget. There's gonna be this really awkward thing where I just show up and be like, "Hello," with 30 pieces of clothing. Like, okay, let's do this. Yeah, Dave, do you want to take us out, man? Do you want to share a little bit more and then take us out?
Yeah, I mean, before we sign out, is there anything else you wanted to share, Claire, or you talk about?
Well, it's funny we're talking about custom clothing because because of COVID, I think we've had to expand our services. Previously, all of our clients have always wanted us to make clothes, and we never did because I thought it was a conflict of interest with our clients, and it's a whole different kind of business. But now we are actually starting to venture into custom made service as well. So I've just this month launched our made-to-measure shirt service, because everyone used to wear shirts. Like, even if you don't wear suits every day, you need a few good shirts, especially in Brisbane. It's just too hot to wear a suit all the time. So we're now doing high-quality made-to-measure shirts.
I mean, that's really beneficial, especially, I mean, I'm an Asian person in Brisbane, and then the range of clothes, and tongues got back to
Nothing fits
Tongues
you.
back to cyberbullying.
Nothing fits. Nothing
He's
fits
about
you.
to cyberbully
You gotta
me.
buy from the child size. Okay, cool. Sorry, that's all. That's all I had to
I don't
say.
have to buy it to the child size, but it is hard to find the right fit. And even people of different shape and size, I think that they will have challenges too. So I think there is definitely a value in what you offer. So for anyone looking who wants to know more about Claire and what she does, Google the fitting room. Especially if you're living in Brisbane, if you need a custom shirt, if you need a tailored suit, check her out, or check out her book, The Suit Book, which we'll link in our show notes at businessoverdrinks.com.
If you have 30 questions, you can email me too.
You can email too. You can find her on LinkedIn, Clare, CLARE SHENG, Clare Sheng, or you can just click on our show notes and then you can.
We'll link to everything. We'll link to everything for sure, Claire.
I mean, there's so many more questions that I wanted to ask you, but we're a bit short on time. But hopefully we can get you back in, Claire.
Yeah. No, this is really good. This was really interesting, Claire. I appreciate it. I think everyone who would be listening to this, like my mom, my dad, would definitely get like a lot of value from this. No, but like
and
also,
me, I'll listen to it.
also potentially the thousands of people that we may or may not reach, depending on how good we're doing. I mean, we work in marketing day. We should do better. But yeah, so we'll definitely be pushing this out, Claire, and I appreciate you taking your time to come out and speak to us today.
Thank you for having me. It was a really great
thanks.
chat. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. And guys, thanks everyone who's listening. Thank you once again. Wherever you're listening from, please feel free. Please keep liking and subscribing to us. It'll help us get better and bigger guests. We've also just launched our Instagram, which is at businessoverdrinks.com. So we hope to see you there.
No, it's at Business Over Drinks. There's no .com there. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave.
This is Johnny Walker.
This is every day.
Jack Daniels.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are.
Yep. Thank you.
Business over drinks. Business over drinks. This is Dave and Tongue. This is business over drinks. This is business over drinks. Yep.